Hello, Emily's class. I'm going to go through the bacteria results with you now. Okay, so the first one we're going to look at is the reception phone, or the phone at reception. You saw me swab that bad boy. Now what do we got? There's one colony here, and then there's this really weird cluster of colonies. It's a very interesting bacterial colony. Look at it. See how it's just kind of shiny? That is really indicative of a bacterial colony. They're often shiny. And you can tell bacterial colonies apart from like shape, size, color, and texture, like that shininess. So you see this one here is, oh, there's a little baby one next to it. So there's two. That one here is clearly a different bacteria to that because it's grown so differently. So on the reception phone, we can kind of safely say that there are two different bacteria growing here. Okay, next one. We'll look at the door handle at the top of the stairs near the chem lab. So if we look at this, we can see two colonies. They both look identical. They're both kind of that same yellowy creamy color, both round. You can't really see through the condensation, but they are shiny. And then I actually took another swab of that exact same area for another class. And you can see here, the same bacteria has grown. Just one little colony. But it looks like the same, you know. From our eyes, I can say it's the same. But it could be different if you actually looked at its DNA. But from our raw observations, they look the same. Okay, but there's not much growth. That's not much growth at all. I would have expected a lot more considering it gets touched by everyone. But, you know, obviously the sanitizing of our school twice a day is working, and yeah, just seems to be working. There's clearly no bacteria. People are washing their hands more, so there's less bacteria floating around, which is good and bad. Okay, so this is the whiteboard marker. So you can see straight off that looks like a different color to that. That's like more yellow than that one. So I would say these two that look more yellow are a different bacteria to these guys. And then that one could be a different bacteria because it's grown so much bigger in the same amount of time. But it might not be. It might just be that there was a bigger deposit of bacteria there. So, you know, it's grown bigger because they look like the same color. But we've got 2 of the yellow colonies and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of the whitish colonies. And what's interesting, I took a whiteboard marker swab from other classes. And if you have a look, looks like the same kind of growth. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 of like the whitish colonies there. And over here we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of the whitish colonies. But it looks like for the one I took for your class, there is distinctly 2 different types of bacteria, which is interesting. I did yours first, so maybe I swabbed off all of that different bacteria and it didn't come off for these guys, but you know, there could be many reasons for that. All right, next one we're gonna look at is, oh my God. Okay, so the garden bed. You saw me, I took it from the soil and the Brussels sprouts. Look at this. It's hectic. There is so much going on here. I didn't even know where to start. Sorry about my shaky hands. Like this over here, that is like fibrous-y. I don't think it's fungus though, because it's still quite shiny. I think funguses are more like fluffy, feather-like, but you can clearly see different colors going on here. Like that little red guy looks really different. And yeah, there's a lot of the same kind of whitish colonies. There is just a lot going on, you know. Obviously the frog bog is not getting, the garden bed is not getting sterilized. And yeah, this is all the natural bacteria, which is mostly, I'm sure it's good bacteria. But such a stark difference between the garden bed and then like sanitized areas. It's pretty insane. Okay, your last swab was the frog bog, which is again, natural area, not getting sanitized twice a day. Look at that. Now this one's pretty cool. We've got, I reckon that could be a fungus. See how it's really hairy and fluffy? And then this one here, that's quite fluffy too. Could be a fungus. And then we have all of these bacterial colonies. Looks like this one is like that one looks similar to this one. But then this one looks similar to this one. We've got this like creamy color, and then there's this more yellowy color, which is kind of over there too. And then this one that it looks like, oh, I don't know, like a bit translucent. But yeah, and then this guy, which is a different shape. The outline is very different. It actually kind of looks like that one. Where is it? Oh, here. No. Maybe on the phone? No, that's so different. See that how it's got all ripples? That kind of growth is clearly different to that kind of growth. This one. So, yeah, there's a lot of differences in the way bacteria grows, and that's how they're identified. But yeah, there's more fluffy stuff there. And yeah. Oh, there's another one I want to show you from a different class. They asked me to take it from the toilet, and I went to the men's toilet because the men's toilet smell more than women's toilets. And look at that. This is so different to anything I've seen on the other plates. There was none of this bright orange bacteria, but there is a buttload of it in the toilet. I took the swab from under the lip in the bowl, so it's a spot where it, you know, doesn't get cleaned very often. Even when they clean it twice a day, there's still a lot going on under there. So I wouldn't recommend licking the inside of a toilet bowl. I didn't even know what that is, but it did not appear in any of the other swabs. And then after I am finished with all these bacterial plates, I need to dispose of them in a safe manner. So this thing! So this is called an autoclave. And I'll take the lid off, pull this thing out. I fill that with water, and then I put that back in. I put my bacterial plates in like an oven bag and put that in there. And then I put the lid on it properly, and then I put it on a hot plate, and it gets up to a very high temperature because it's pressurized. I can make it get hotter than 100 degrees. So why do you think I would need to heat them up to that hot? You have a think about that. And I hope you enjoyed the results of your bacterial streaking.